what's going on. All right, Tesla's traded the most so far. NVIDIA, Palantir, NEO, which is a low price stock, so doesn't really count. Merck, Walgreens, which is being acquired, shockingly. American Airlines, Kohl's, Alibaba, Robinhood, Rigetti, Halliburton, SoFi, Cisco, Supermicro, Alphabet, Warner Brothers, Primo Brands, Verizon, IQE, Micron, United Micro, Marathon Digital, Apple, and Amazon. So these are all traded between 1 million on the low end and sort of 3 to 10 million on the high end. Gainers. I think a major bug has been fixed here too, which is pretty good. I'm short IonQ. It's my biggest position, along with short Rigetti. Well, Rigetti's dropping. I bet you IonQ drops too. I wanted to work on some quantitative investing. I'm not back to shorting IonQ. I've never not been short IonQ. I'm short IonQ and Rigetti nonstop. For Rigetti, I'm really for Arvinas, ARVN, I'm sort of happy here that, I explained that there was no data. I'm sure you guys caught that. I've been saying it for the last month. There was no data to go off of. There's no way for us to determine whether it would work or not. So just stay away. So I'm very happy that that's the case. I don't know why anybody would have bought Arvinas at all or traded it at all. There was just no data. I had this really small phase 2 data set. Thanks, godel goblin. I mean, a no call is better than a call. If you can't make the call, there's no data to make the call, then don't make the call. First, there has to be enough data. Second, you have to make the call. Third, the call has to be different from the market. I don't know if MicroStrategy is going to tank or not. Bitcoin's rocking for now. Market maker configs. I really don't want to have MicroStrategy in here. We should not be trading that stock at all. I never want to be long it or short it. I feel like Tesla should be the same. Some of the super risky stocks just don't belong in a market making system. I want Coca-Cola and Procter & Gamble, not. Yeah, I mean, even Pfizer is a little bit if they have bad data on a drug, what do you do about that? And I also kind of want to have a system that's I could put that stuff in more trend following. Maybe J&J. I might even replace some more of these. Yeah, not too much going on. Honestly, we'll fade usually in these after a big down day like that in this new bear market regime. I mean, we'll get up days. There's no doubt about that, and very well could be an up day today. But typically, you'll get kind of these small rallies followed by more down days, and oftentimes you'll get 2 or 3 down days in a row that are brutal. Some of you might be curious about the script I'm working on. Well, the first step is to make it make money, and there's a couple components that go into that. The first is, of course, you can just simply look at the profit, but there's a couple more things. One example is commission. Commission is a pretty significant portion of this program's costs. The nice thing is that you can avoid commission if you set up as a broker-dealer, which obviously not everyone is going to be willing to do or want to do necessarily, but we can do it. And we could even theoretically sort of get you guys access to that where there would be no trading costs. So that's kind of the theory there. So the point is, if you can engineer an algorithm that's profitable net of commissions, you can get rid of the commissions. We don't call it trading bots, JJ, but yeah, we call it a trading bot. We try to be a little more professional over here. Well, copy trading is not really the goal. I think that the goal is, how does one get to a place where you can have a systematic. On my screen is I've been running for the last few days. I guess you haven't been here. We ran yesterday and traded $5 million on my interactive brokerage account. It broke even, but the point is that it actually would have been fairly profitable without commissions. And commissions are something professionals can avoid. We don't need. Well, every professional uses VS Code. There's nothing special about VS Code. My friends at OpenAI and big quant firms use VS Code, so that's not. I wouldn't deprecate VS Code. Python is a little bit. At the end of the day, Python is sort of considered slow, but for most trading, I really don't think it's that big of a deal. Other people do, depending on what you're doing trading. So in any event, I want to make sure you guys are listening to me. Yeah, right now it's not very complex. My girlfriend and I are working on it to try to make it a little more a little more complicated. Yeah, you should always look at the bottleneck, do a flame graph, or we use something called Perfetto and profiling. So there's no profiling issues here, right? This is a very simple program. There's what you're really trying to do in this world is cut down on more of HFT world. You're more worried about. Okay, so we're trading right now. Let's see how it goes. Here's some of the trades. Fractional sized order cannot be placed via API. Interesting limitation, right? Okay, so yeah, I see the Rigetti and IonQ rallying. I mean, people hope it's a relief rally. That's sort of normal. I'm closing out the Tesla I had yesterday. Our company is a customer of Anthropic's, an enterprise customer. Unfortunately, Anthropic put in fake data into my market making script without asking me. So that was a little rough. I did not like that. It now seems to work. I shorted a ton of Lumina and I am now regretting that. So I lost like $5 grand on that. That's really annoying. I mean, I thought guiding down would be bad, but everyone expected it, I guess. Just stupid. That's the life. There is a chat for each ticker, Udar. There is a chat for each ticker. The way you do it is you go to, let's pick a stock that you care about, like Palantir. And what you do is you just do, okay, so you go to terminal, type PLTR for Palantir, PLTR, and then you do equity chat. I don't know what just happened. I get some crazy refresh. I don't know if there's a change log or what. You press backtick to open up the terminal. You type in PLTR, equity, and then chat. And that's it. And you have a Palantir chat open. 59 people are in this chat. Love you, Palantir fans. Okay. So if you also wanted to do a Walmart chat, WMT equity, which is F8 button, chat. Only 3 guys in Walmart. LOL, it's overvalued, I'm sure. Okay, so that's how you use Godel chat. Okay, so main chat is, pretty chaotic, I agree. It's not for everybody. Oh, the other issue is we get it's really sort of funny. Interactive's TWS doesn't work when you do lots of trades. And this thing does lots of trades. So I posted P&L yesterday. Let's do that again today. It's still being done manually, but I think it's kind of fun anyway to look at it this way. Because if you get too used to manual, if you get too used to automated, you can, automated's good once you have a working thing. Like this is a kind of more of a work in progress. So this was the P&L for yesterday, roughly. Let's look at today. We closed this actually fairly profitably. Day one was, up $2,000, but it wasn't really accurate. I mean, it wasn't really like we had to interrupt the program and all this stuff. So all fees included. So that theoretically we could have had, this is roughly, so commissions would have added another $1,000 roughly. So, if you could make $2,000 a day trading the stock market automatically with the program, that's not bad, right? That'd be great. So let's see how we do today. All right, so what stocks do we have market making for? Apple, Adobe, Amazon, Baba, Google. We're out of Tesla. What else are we doing? $3,900 on aluminum, man. Oof, annoying. For no reason. Okay, we got J&J and JP Morgan. Coca-Cola, Meta, Microsoft, NVIDIA. We're out of MicroStrategy and Netflix. Procter & Gamble. That's our new stuff. Okay, this is our trading algorithm. So let's look at the trading summaries so far. You can see the buys and the sells. 889, 222, 9925. Okay, so we've already traded $700,000 just in the last couple of minutes. This thing is ripping. Apple up, Adobe up, Amazon up, Alibaba down, Google up, J&J flat, JP Morgan, flat. Coca-Cola, flat. Meta up. Microsoft down. Part of this is beta too, so I want to adjust it so that the program isn't taking on too much beta. So if it's just taking inventory, I'd like it to short some against that. No threading. This is a simple market making strategy. Adobe's been one of the best companies in America for a long time. I mean, I appreciate that, you know, maybe as a client you don't love them, but it's a tremendous company. P&L is profit and loss. It's a very important thing to follow. When you buy and sell, when you're willing to buy and sell it indifferently, then you're making a market. That is what making a market is. You post a bid and you post an ask. You make a market. So this program needs a lot of work. Market just took a dump, I guess. So all the merchandise we bought is taking a dump. Oh boy. We're gonna do a $5,000 stop loss just like yesterday. Whenever down 5 Gs, we're just gonna close the program. How would you make it beta neutral? Just calculate the exposure and short an equivalent amount. So right now, let's do the values here. I didn't do that yet. This thing is just long everything basically, which I didn't, you know, that's not really what I want. But if the market dumps and you're a market maker, you basically you go long everything. I mean, that's the job of a market maker. You're sitting there willing to take exposure all the time. And that means that there will be L's. Yeah, you can see the book is just almost completely long. Delta neutral is when you adjust for options, but beta neutral is when you adjust for beta. So delta neutral doesn't apply when you just own equities. So you can't delta adjust this, but you can beta adjust it to be beta neutral or market neutral. India is great. You know, India makes a lot of the world's medicines. So honestly, I don't mind being long as we drop because I'm short so much Rigetti and so much IonQ. But I also think that these are all high quality companies that I'm buying here. So I have no problem accumulating a little bit and hoping for some vol to bail me out. So if you're curious, I think we have a quant group in Godel and I can add you guys to the repo. Okay, maybe we don't. Oh yeah, we do. Just send me your GitHub name in Godel. I also want you to be a Godel customer for more than a month. So if you've been around a while, you just sign up today. I probably won't add you to the repo, but if you've been around for a minute, send me your GitHub and I'm happy to add you to the repo. Eventually I'll cover it. I like looking at how much volume because the volume is kind of an impressive amount of trading. Even if it's all just back and forth trying to squeeze out a few dollars, it's still cool, I think. Maybe I'm easily amused. All right, yeah, so we've traded 1.4 million. Now, trying to trade larger lot sizes so that the commission amounts are smaller. The commission amount's pretty small right now, but I'd like to get them even smaller. Yeah, so the goal here isn't to make a great market maker for myself. I mean, that's partially the goal for sure. I'd like to make money just like anybody else. But my goal is to make this for you guys so that you can run it. And maybe it'll be an extra cost for Godel, or you pay me per trade, or I don't know what. But we'll figure out a way to do that so that I get paid and you get paid. You can run the program. Without having to be a programmer, without having to do anything. Maybe just connect your brokerage. Market maker is a service, correct, James? Instead of Citadel or Jane Street making tens of billions every year, why not us? Why not us? And I would run it through Godel broker-dealer, so there'd be no commissions at all. All trades would be commission-free. No order flow, payment for order flow, no, just free. Well, you know, there's maker-taker fees, as Jesus is pointing out here. Maker-taker, if you Google that, you can learn a little bit about the market-making game. But, you know, we'll be making, not taking. So we should get paid. And yeah, I'm going to do international too. Now, the problem is, look, this is a competitive game. I mean, everybody is trying to make free money, right? So that means I'm going to have to also co-locate with the stock exchange. That means I'm going to have to rewrite some of this program in a different language. It means I'm going to have to keep up with the most sophisticated advances in market making. I mean, this is not going to be easy. And most people, when they do that, they say, well, why would we share these profits? I think that ideally, like we provide you with all the infra and basic tools you need. So like if you wanted to do more work, you can. So you can fork, but you can rent the colocation exchange from us. You can rent the broker dealer from us. You could do all that stuff. Providing liquidity is it's like hundreds of years old as a profit strategy. It's not the only strategy. I will incorporate trend following. I'll incorporate, all kinds of other things, pairs trading, factor modeling. I mean, there's lots of ways there are a lot of ways to algorithmically trade. I use all the AIs. MCP? What's MCP? Is that the new framework, like MVP? Model View Controller, MVC, a new system. This has been going on X. I know it's not, I don't think it's the same thing, but there's like MLC or something like that. It's Chris. If you do it right, these guys just make nonstop money. Is that it? The MCP server? Yeah, I think we'll do something like that at some point. Yeah, people do that as well, Braden. It just depends on how tight of the market you want to make. Shall we check our profit and loss? Looks like a ton of meta, $200,000 of meta. Not what I wanted. But small amounts of market making. Meta's a high price stock. Yeah, it says max position 50, and I own 350 meta. So yeah, so a bit of a half the P&L loss in meta. Mostly just making with too large size there. We don't do paper trading here, man. We just go get to the money at all times. Gonna halt the market maker, even though it's doing an okay job. Let me see where P&L lives right now. Meta out. I'm gonna leave it in here as the P&L, but I'm gonna replace it in the config. So instead of meta, let's pick a boring stock of Algo. It's not so boring, is it? And maybe Lily. It is setting buy and sell orders of 1 share each, which would not make a lot of sense. Yeah, James, you shouldn't be running one of these things without some pretty large size anyway. If you're trading with less than $1 million, the minimum commission thing happens to be an interactive thing right now. But when we have our own broker dealer or do a sub account at a broker dealer, we should be able to have no. Yesterday it was MicroStrategy. Today it's Meta. I am honestly bullish on the humanoid stuff. I think being far away isn't so bad. Like IMQ is far away, but it's also not real. But humanoids are real. Like these machines there'll be more robots than humans. And robots will have their own GDP. Robots will have their own stores that they go to. You will wait a table for robots. You understand me? You will go to you'll be a waiter like this. This is you with the plate. And how may I help you? And a human family will order egg, bacon and eggs and all that. And you'll say, okay, here we go, thank you. And then you'll go to the next table. And how may I help you, my android friends? And the robots will be like, well, what would you like, DeepSeek? And DeepSeek will be like, I'll have 2 gigabytes of RAM. And I'll put a side of defrag on that, please. Thank you. There's nothing to be scared of. I would think of the silicon as no different a life form than you or me. I know that sounds scary, but your brain is just a bunch of the same programs. Who programmed it? That's another question. Your intelligence and the robot's intelligence is going to always be a little bit different because you've been trained differently. You have a slightly different program, but ultimately we're kind of arriving at the same place. They feel real, like you're talking to a real thing. It's not going to be far before they evolve feelings and things like that. I've already created some bots that do that. Yeah, Grok's really good. The Sesame thing was very much crossing the uncanny valley. We call it internally the audio Turing test. Philip Dick wrote about this. Do androids dream of electric sheep? It was a long time ago, but all these things are starting to come true. And I think that I'm making jokes, obviously, but the reality is there probably is nothing in our brain that we're doing that the machine cannot do, right? What is there that's special that you can do in your brain that the machine can't? For the longest time, there were things. Douglas Hofstadter famously said in Godel, 𝗏𝗏, his famous book, if you haven't read it, I'd encourage you to pick it up, but also not treat it like a Bible. A lot of people think this book is better than it is. It's often abbreviated GEB. So if you hear me saying GEB, I mean Douglas Hofstadter's book, Godel, 𝗬𝗓, 𝗏, An Infinite Golden Braid, I think it's called, or An Eternal Golden Braid. So in Godel, 𝗬𝗓, 𝗏, which was written quite a long time ago, Hofstadter postulates that computers will never be good at chess because chess has some, cosmic significance that, humans can do that nothing else can do. Of course, he was wrong, dramatically wrong. Nevertheless, people have persisted in separating these two intelligences, biological and synthetic. And the reality is, the more we learn, the more we realize there's nothing special about biological intelligence. It's just a different substrate. The same reason there's nothing really different about a Fibonacci sequence calculator in C versus Pascal versus BASIC versus Python. It's still the same recursive function. It's not changing because the program is different, slightly different syntax. You can do some of these calculations on the digital circuit. You can do some of them in an analog circuit. There's a fungibility. That's often called the 𝗕𝗁𝗃 hypothesis, or the idea that there's a sort of a fungible universal Turing machine for every program. Can be sort of written in a pseudocode that runs on a universal Turing machine. So ultimately, our brains are probably like that. There's been some attempts to try to extract our brains out of the physical world and keep them in metaphysics, but they've all failed. And I think that there's a few frontiers still left, mind you. We have to, the computers aren't very creative. They're not geniuses. They haven't done anything at genius level, like an Einstein type, like breakthrough. But that day is coming. I mean, it's obvious that day is coming. So, synthetic intelligence versus human intelligence is a distinction that'll probably fall away over time. I don't know if creativity is entropy or not. 𝗠𝗔𝗥𝗧𝗏, I mean, that is one of the puzzles that we have to solve. And we're going to find out probably by trial and error, the same way evolution finds maxima through competition and slight changes and practice and tinkering. And I think we'll find that too. Let's see what 𝗙𝗢𝗑 is up to at OpenAI. Not at OpenAI, at SSI, his new thing.